Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art Battle Vancouver Regional Championship. We are here live tonight in Vancouver, and we have an absolute treat of a night planned for you. We have 12 of the region's most incredible, best, amazing live artists here competing for the title and the right to represent the Vancouver region in the 2023 Art Battle Canada National Championship. So very, very exciting stuff happening tonight. And we have just kicked off round number 1. We are just under a minute in. And once again, these guys are only going to have 20 minutes to go from blank canvas to incredible masterpiece right in front of your eyes. And I believe we are here with Justine Schlot, and this piece is just looking fantastic already. Really, really clear on creating this gorgeous, just glowing light source here. I think that we're going to be treated to potentially some galaxy or maybe a mountainous landscape here. Here we are with Juan Vega. And I always really enjoy watching Juan paint because he has such a distinct line work that he likes to work into his pieces. And we can see that already being evident here. We can see that he's working with some sort of marker as well as the paint. And so definitely a technique that is very unique to him. And I often like to describe the hand of the artist. And what I mean by that is when an artist makes a mark, you can tell that it's really them. And with Juan, just the flourishes within his line work are so indicative of his style. Here we are with Orion Alexis, and Orion is starting a landscape piece. And Orion is very inspired by the world around him. And loves to capture the energy of specific places. And with such a warm palette going on in this piece, I'm wondering whether or not we're going to be getting some sort of sunrise or sunset. Not quite sure where we're headed with this yet, maybe a beach scene, but already we can just obviously see that it has so much potential. That's one of the really fun things about Art Battle is that at any point, pieces are just emerging and changing right in front of your eyes. And that's something that I particularly enjoy about the first few minutes of the round because there's just so much possibility open up at the easel. Here we are with Khan, and Khan is already off to just this incredible start. We can see that he has already created a building. We've got this gorgeous bluey green roof. I'm imagining that that is kind of like a classic oxidized copper roof, something that you'll often see in Canadian architecture. Back with Juan Vega here, and it looks like we have the emergence of a character. So it looks like we have a nude woman, or at least the body of a nude woman, and she has the head of a squid or an octopus. And this is so much fun. Really, really into the way that this is coming together and super surreal. Also, when we're looking at this figure, we can also see the hand reaching forward in space, and so that really gives such a dynamic quality to this piece. We are officially halfway through our first round of Art Battle in Vancouver tonight for the Vancouver Regional Championships. The singular winner of tonight's event will be moving forward to the Canadian National Championship on July 27th in Toronto. The top 2 artists, as voted by the audience from this round and from our next qualifying round, will be moving forward into a 4-artist final showdown where we will determine the winner of the night. Wow, the addition of this cooler tone, this almost like a periwinkle blue, bluey purple, over top of all of these warm colors is just creating such a gorgeous, gorgeous contrast. And I think that we're definitely in the sunset scene. This is just fantastic. We can see a bridge has emerged as well. Back with Khan now, and Khan is continuing to capture all of this architectural goodness and just so impressionistic. It really feels effortless watching him create, and just really, he has this just incredible ability to achieve atmosphere. And we also can see that he started to add some figures in as well. And when you look really closely and you see how he's executing the figures, they're just super tiny, impressionistic shapes, but you really get the understanding that they're people, that they're moving, that they're walking around this outdoor kind of courtyard street area. And he's just able to achieve so much with very basic shapes. Back over with Gary here, and this piece just continues to take on so much personality. And Gary also has an interesting artistic background. So he is coming from a background where he was working in TV and games. And I wonder if that has informed his ability to create characters, because when we're looking at this is very painterly execution. And so not something that you would necessarily associate with animation or games. But what I am seeing is this fully realized character. So I'm wondering whether or not Gary's history of working in TV has helped him to create these characters. Here we are back with Sadie, and Sadie is really taking her time with this piece. You can tell that there's a lot of patience that's going into it, and she just looks super chill and relaxed as well. We're getting perfect hits on all of the proportions of the face. The eyes aren't too big, they're not too small. The nose is in correct proportion, which is something that is really difficult to do, actually. Noses are kind of notoriously difficult to paint. And we have this really beautiful kind of pure light source and brightness that is around the face. Back over with Lucy. Oh, I love this move. I love when we see artists using a spatter technique to achieve stars. Lucy is doing such a fantastic job here. Such great control. You really have to be careful when you're spattering stars like that. It's so easy to accidentally spatter way too much paint on, and then there's not really anywhere that you can go from there, especially because you're creating all of these small points of brightness against such a dark field that if you go too big, it's very difficult to come back from it. So what she's doing is just slowly building this network of stars super carefully and very patient as well. And we can now see that Lucy, in her last 5 minutes, is starting to add in some detail work into the water, getting some of those highlights, the way the moon is hitting the water in this nighttime scene. So much gorgeousness just continuing to evolve on Orion's canvas. I love the addition that we were just able to catch with that small little sailboat, really giving you a sense of understanding of scale of the piece. And we have some buildings in the foreground as well. And he's just dappling in some of this blue shadowed water on the side here. And we can see that the rest of the water is staying pink because it's catching that shimmering sunlight at the last of sunset. Some very cool techniques from Khan, getting this just super cool crispy, straight line with what looks like a squeegee, a little squeegee from the dollar store. I love it. Like an actual shower squeegee. Very, very cool. I always love seeing the way that artists innovate with their techniques and just sometimes the strange tools that they use. It's really, really satisfying, and I feel like we are just watching innovation come to life. Back with Gary here, and the personality in this piece is just shining through. A wonderful use of color as well. I'm really enjoying the pops of pink that are on either side. And especially loving that little highlight on the nose. That is one of my favorites. The highlight on the nose and the two catch lights in the sunglasses just really bring this character even more to life. So big jump forward from Sadie also. I just got a little glimpse. Yes, big jump forward from Sadie with this seafoam color that's been introduced. And we can see that the seafoam is very similar to the green that she was using in the shadows of this piece. And so this is a really harmonizing element and something that really brought this piece together very, very quickly. Getting just a little tiny hit of red into the eyes. Just really enchanted by her detail work right now. I think my favorite has got to be, there's like one broken line on the other side of her jaw that's not connected to anything. And I just love that. It's just looking so fantastic. Getting into our final 30 seconds here of our first round of the Art Battle Vancouver Regional Final. The top two artists, as voted by the audience, will be moving forward into the final round of the night. So make sure that you get registered to vote at artbattle.com/AB2424.
All of these painters fast and furiously at work right now, getting things underway right away. We are 1 minute in the books, 19 on the boards. Kim putting it down with that signature ambidextrous style. Got the masculine and the feminine. Grooving in harmony, 18 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Appreciate everybody keeping it circulating down here on the floor. See y'all, appreciate y'all. Hardest to it looking at 18 minutes. Wow.
And here we are at easel number 5 with Jeremy Hendrickson, who has actually been going by the franchise for all of this season. So funny. He's been putting on this full art battle persona, this full character, and just talking mad trash to all of the other artists, but in a way that is obviously a parody and is obviously very fun, but at the same time bringing serious skill to the easel. So really, really stoked and excited to see what Jeremy Hendrickson, aka the franchise, brings to the easel tonight. Right now we can see that he is laying down some absolutely incredible, super vibrant neon hues there. Here we are with Justine Chilote, and Justine is an artist from Squamish as well, whose work is often leaning into surreal, features a lot of really beautiful line work, and we're seeing that up the easel right now. You can see that Justine is executing some really careful line work. You can see 2 eyes and also what looks like a 3rd eye, so I think that we are definitely going to be into that surrealistic territory here. Looks like she's laying down her line work with some pasta markers, which are an acrylic paint marker. Always really enjoying seeing artists use mixed media, and I actually don't think I've ever seen an artist use Posca and finger blend it before, so that's definitely something new already. Once again, we are in round number 2 of the Art Battle Vancouver Regional Championship. Very, very exciting here. We are at the easel of Jace Kim, who is one of my all-time super favorite art battle painters. Very, very stoked to see what Jace is doing tonight. Jace is actually, I think, one of very few ambidextrous painters that we have in the art battle sphere, and he's just absolutely incredible to watch. He's creating these really ethereal portrait paintings that just communicate so much emotion. And Jace also describes his ambidextrous approach as his left hand representing masculine energy and his right hand representing feminine energy. And I read that in his bio today and thought that that was just so interesting, and also really underlines the approach that he takes and the unique energy that he brings to his compositions. We got the opportunity to see him in the first 30 seconds laying down some really incredible work, just totally symmetric, and now he's almost switching between hands with this kind of musicality. Here we are at easel number 2 with Shannon Thiessen, who has painted in the national championships not once, but 2 times. I believe that it was I think 2016 and 2018. And I am so thrilled to see her up at the easel for the Vancouver Regional Championship again. I know that she is working hard to get to nationals once again, and I would not be surprised if she takes it. She's a really incredible painter. I've had the opportunity to see her paint at both nationals events, and just seeing her working in person is quite the sight to behold. She has this almost aggressive quality of the way that she lays down paint, and it's very performative, and it really involves the audience, and she's also able to infuse all of that performative brushwork with quite a lot of emotion that comes through visually as well. Loving these additions of violet being added into the hair of her portrait here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, interesting. So I fully thought that she was going to be taking this squeegee and really smearing the face with it, but she's actually using it to establish her proportions within the face. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use a squeegee in that way, and I think that that's actually really, really smart. Here we are with Deranucci, and oh my gosh, this piece, I'm digging it. I really love this piece. There's something that's very like art historical referential about it. Just with, I don't know, the vibe that it's giving me, it's almost like a mimics like the screen painting in some ways, with the squiggles of colors and the glowing moon up in the top, and with this dark eyes in the character. I'm really digging that. I love that. Here we are over with LJ from Squamish, and oh, I'm so excited. I'm so pleased that we get to see LJ adding in, I think this is a whale as well. I was really hoping that she was going to be painting something that was featuring aquatic life. Yeah, I feel like we're definitely getting into whale territory here. Either a whale or maybe potentially a bird. A little bit difficult to tell at this point, but I'm sure that it will continue to evolve. Here we are back with Justine, and this piece is just evolving in such an interesting way. What I had originally thought was going to be a humanoid face now appears like it's taking on a bird energy. And how cool is it that we just got that like dripping tear? What a moment. And you can tell that it's intentional because we're getting absolute symmetry here, and so satisfying that we were able to catch that moment. But what I was saying is, originally I had thought that this was going to be more human features, but definitely I'm thinking that we have a bird. Looks like we've got a beak that is opening, and I think the bird also has a third eye as well. Maybe could potentially be an owl or some sort of raven. Back over with Jace, and Jace is now adding texture into his piece, and we can see that he's using, I think, a credit card to smear some, oh, now back into brushwork, to smear some of this super, super bright, almost like a chartreuse onto the canvas. And the intensity of that green color is playing really nicely with some of the more subtle hues that he's created by blending the pinks and blues into this gorgeous purple here. We have some more warm purple that he's used, and we also have this more cool toned purple that's leaning very much into blue, but he's really playing in the mid-tones here with that, and then using this crazy pop of green to contrast all of that. Back with Deranucci here. Oh my gosh, so cool. So I'm just realizing that her hat here is a sculpture of the rabbit character that she's painting. I am so completely epically into this. It's so conceptual. It's definitely got an art historical referential vibe, but bringing it very much into the contemporary space as well, with the cheekiness of it being a rabbit character. We've got some eyes that are being added into the smoke here. Very, very cool. I am so stoked on this piece. I'm really loving also the pop of neon here. I think that That might not have been an anticipated color on the Art Battle painting table for the artists to collect, but they have absolutely taken advantage of it, and so many of our artists tonight are really using it and bringing that kind of pop into their pieces. So it looks like we have a whale here that I think has a cityscape on it. Or actually, maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see because I wanted to see a whale. I think it's actually just a cliffside with a singular figure who is, yes, that's what it is, with a singular figure who is radiating all of this incredible rainbow energy into the sky. And we can also see this kind of roiling, colorful sea underneath as well, feeling very joyful and also contemplative with that piece. Back with the franchise. And I've also heard that he's made a custom belt to go with his character that he's been playing all season. So I really hope that we get a chance to see that because I've heard that it is very, very cool. Checking out all of this absolute sumptuous texture that is going onto the canvas. Just really, really glorious, honestly, is how I'm experiencing it. Ah, there's the belt! There's the belt! Slung over his shoulder. So fun. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even realize that there is a figure that is walking towards us as well within this scene. The colors just vibrate against each other. Back with Justine here, and we're really getting into all of these beautiful subtle details. There's this really beautiful, almost like mournful quality to this piece, and all of the tears that are flowing from our bird here. The artists, I have to congratulate them. Not only are we getting incredible aesthetic quality tonight in our championship, but so many of the artists have really decided to go at the competition from a place of vulnerability and sharing pieces that are quite emotional. Moving into our final 2 minutes here, back with Jace Kemp, and Jace is looking just super calm and collected. I feel that he must be feeling quite confident about this piece, as I would be too. This is just really excellent. And Jace is such a pro. He has been participating in art battle events for quite some time and is quite a well-known painter as well. And so, again, just being treated to this visual feast here at Art Battle Vancouver. The catch lights that Shannon has created here for our character are so beautiful. That's always my favorite part of the execution of a portrait painting. Oh my goodness. I almost thought for a second that our camera was sped up for a moment, because that is maybe the fastest painting I've ever seen. She is going for it. Love it. Into our final minute here. Jaranucci just adding in those final highlights onto the clothing. I feel like she's done such a great job at managing her time. It's so textural. There's so much paint on here, and yet you really are able to tell what is going on. Just fantastic job. 3, 2. We have just begun officially our final round of the Art Battle Vancouver Regional Championship. Some very, very exciting work happening. Our top 4 artists from the night up at the easels, From round number 1, we have Juan Vega and Gary Brooks. And from round number 2, the artists that move forward were Jace Kim and The Franchise, aka Jeremy Henderson. Right now, we are getting the opportunity to see Jace in his first strokes. One of my favorite moments of watching Jace paint always are these first initial strokes and watching him map out the face with both hands. It's just incredible, especially that he's doing it with the contrasting colors. Oh my gosh. All right, here we are with The Franchise, and already Jeremy has lots of paint going onto the canvas. We have tons and tons of fluorescents that are making themselves known. And also it looks like he has Jace's old reference photo potentially up at the top. I'm wondering, I think that's Jace's previous reference photo. But I also am starting to see that Jeremy may be tackling a portrait, which we don't often see from him, and I'm so stoked for it. Here we are with Gary Brooks, and I think that Gary is also beginning a portrait, and really cool to watch him in his technique of how he starts off his paintings. So much of one singular color and then just a few features that have been kind of mapped out. Very interesting approach, and one that I'm very captivated by. This time we have 30 minutes on the clock, and so these artists have been gifted an extra 10 minutes to take advantage of this live competitive painting time. And 10 minutes can make all of the difference. And it often can kind of present a challenge for these artists as well, because they're used to painting in the 20-minute time frame, and sometimes the extra 10 minutes can potentially throw them off, or they use it to the best of their advantage, and it just makes even more incredible pieces. So we shall see which way it goes in our third and final round of the Vancouver Regional Championship. Here we are with Juan Vega. And once again, Juan has done his initial drawing in marker and then has layered his major color themes over top. And we're totally seeing him obscuring the drawing here with tons and tons of paint. And I have a feeling he's going to rub some of that away to continue to kind of reveal that drawing underneath. Again, just getting the opportunity to really have insight into the process of these artists. Always really enjoy from Jeremy's work the way that he kind of creates these elements of super, super expressive knife work that verges on being chaotic, and then he really kind of tightens everything up while at the same time layering more and more volume of paint. Very, very interesting to watch him work. Moving over to Gary Brooks here. And we can see that Gary is, I feel like there's something else going on with this portrait. I feel like maybe we might get a double imposed image or a superimposed image. Some double exposure action of some kind happening, potentially. Definitely an intuitive use of color from Gary here as he's blending this bluey color into the greens, getting some really gorgeous mid-tones there. Our first 10 minutes of the round are officially over, and the bonus 10 minutes have elapsed. We now have our regular 20 minutes remaining on the clock, and we really now can get an opportunity to really kind of ascertain how these artists used those extra 10 minutes in the beginning to really set the framework for their pieces. Over with Gary Brooks here, and looks like we are definitely delving into more of a surrealist territory from him. We have this face that seems to be kind of emerging from water, and looks like one of the eyes is going to be conceptually different. Looks like it's kind of pulled within the water there. And we can also see that he's using a sponge to move the paint around the canvas and kind of creating a little bit of a blending effect and some diffusion as well. I think that Jace is also definitely using negative space to his advantage here with the white space, allowing for some of those looser lines that are coming off of the main composition to shine. Back with the franchise here, and even though he is putting on a character and has been styling himself as the franchise this entire season in Vancouver, you can tell that he's really serious about competing today. And it's like this piece is awesome. It's really well considered. You can also see that he's put a lot of thought into all of the different placements and which colors he was going to choose for his palette. So even though he might be leaning into the character, he's very serious about the competition. And I think that the franchise is definitely very invested in the hope of winning this piece or of winning this competition and potentially going to nationals. We are just past the halfway mark officially of our final round of our battle in Vancouver, the Vancouver Regional Championship. Voting is now open at artbattle.com/AB2424. Also, all of the works created tonight are available for silent auction, and you can bid to take these works home. You don't need to be in the room. We will ship them to you. So if you're falling in love with any of these pieces as you're watching them being created, make sure that you participate in the auction at the same link that is on your screen that you're going to use to vote. Really cool watching him create all of these features and then blend them out and then have them reconverge back together. Definitely takes some careful planning to execute that. Oh man, one of my favorite moments. I love highlight time, and we are seeing lots of super tasty highlights being laid down on the canvas right now by Juan. This is a very thin brush that he's using as well, and he's using it really, really carefully to create just these thin, delicate lines that have their own sense of movement. And he's also quite careful with where he's placing them because he's being considerate of where his light source is coming from, which is the lightest part of the top canvas. I think that's where he's got kind of a sun styled. And we're seeing the way the light is hitting the body of this creature here. And it's almost entirely from one side. So really intuitive ability to express light there from one. And we're now getting the opportunity to see how this piece is looking from just a few feet away. And so this is a better idea of how the crowd in the room is going to be experiencing this piece. And so we've had the opportunity to see it up close and get really into those details. But for an art battle piece to be successful in the voting crowd with the people that are in the room, it needs to translate in both ways. It needs to be successful in its details up close visually, but it also needs to have that visual translation from farther away so that the crowd can really appreciate what the piece is and get drawn into it. And you can see lots of people are hanging out by the franchise's easel right now and looking to capture and post on social media. Back with Jace, and Jace has now added in some spattering of color, which has really added to the energy of this piece and really has created almost more of a contemporary vibe. It definitely is already a contemporary painting, but I feel like the spattering effect and that coupled with the little crown that is kind of hanging out in the top corner is bringing a little bit more of a street art vibe to this piece. And it's cool seeing that juxtaposition of that more fine art versus the street art vibe that's coming from that. Wow, just stunning. And again, what I was saying about Jeremy's ability to lay down just so much paint in such an aggressive manner, and then kind of corral that chaos and really take the opportunity to just bring everything in a little bit tighter. It's difficult to describe because he tightens up all of these details and points of emphasis, but then at the same time, it's still very loose and retaining its dynamic quality and energy. Difficult to describe, but I'm doing my best, guys. And it's cool. It's a fun challenge to try to put into words how these guys are creating. And Jace also is just kind of picking at his piece in the final minutes, not really making any big moves that we can see at this point, because he's just really done so much incredible groundwork, and this piece came together so quickly, and it really is, I think, at its highest point of impact right now, and just is looking fantastic. And we can also see, so he's created the biggest emphasis on the highest planes of the face. So the nose, above the lips, the chin, and of course that eye that he's got emphasized as well. But if you look into this kind of watery area that he's created, you can also see the face kind of receding into shadow. You can see some of the fullness of the cheeks and the hollows of where the cheekbones are narrowing. More of those super delicate highlights coming from Juan.
Make some noise for your round 3 artists, y'all! Top of the top, cream of the crop. All right, y'all, let's brush us down. Let's count them out in 10, 9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Brush us down, make some noise! The final round of the Art Battle Vancouver season. You saw it all go down live and direct before your eyes. All of these paintings are going to be available for you to take home if you fancy one or many. Artists, please don't forget to sign your works and stick around for a photo with Cam. Good people in the audience, you know the drill. You're going to open up that link just like the last 2 times. You're going to vote on your favorite, and we're going to be back with you a winner very soon. And this one, it's all on the line this time. The franchise's belt, the Vancouver Season Championship. It's on you to make your decisions now, friends. Choose wisely, DJ K Rec. Hit me.
Can you go in the video?
All right. Our third and final round is officially concluded, and voting is open at artbattle.com/AV2424. So huge deal. It's going to be a big deal for the winners because they will be moving forward to the 2023 Canadian National Championship coming up on July 27th in Toronto. One lucky artist will be moving forward to represent the region, and it is your job to vote them forward. So make sure that you get registered to vote at that link. And also, all of the works created tonight are available for silent auction. So make sure that you participate in the auction. If you have been eyeing any of these pieces, we will mail them to you. So many incredible, unique offerings tonight by our artists, and I have to say that I am so impressed, not only with the quality, but also with the variety of thematic elements. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be Juan Vega, Gary Brooks, Jace Kim, or the franchise, aka Jeremy Hendrickson, who earns the top spot and moves on to the Nationals? A very well-deserved win for Jace Kim. our Vancouver regional champion. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us on the stream tonight. We super appreciate it. And of course, all 12 artists who painted with us in tonight's final event. Head over to @ArtBattleVancouver on Instagram to discover all of these artists' different handles. Go give them a follow and support. And we will be back next Thursday for the Ottawa Regional Championship. So see you then. Congratulations, Jace, and we will see you at the Nationals.